What are you doing, Joe?
Explaining my decisions of life and why I decided to be more electronics installer.
Well,
No, I'm joking.
what'd you come up with?
Days are great, days are bad. Not really bad, just more or less I got to work on a Mercedes Sprinter van that's 23, and nothing's easy on these things, man. Nothing's easy.
And there's no like, nobody's really figured out a way to do the different things. So you're like the first one. You're kind of like the virgin experimental program.
If that makes sense, because I mean, yeah, we pay for programs to give us information on these pieces,
But they're so new.
so using tricks that I know from school
Yeah.
to figure out how these things are done helps out a lot, but it still can be tedious. Mercedes, well, they like to overlay everything.
Oh, yeah. So can you tell me what's going to be going in this thing?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Yeah. And that is where
That is just how hard that is to do. It just requires that much to do it. That's crazy, man.
just to get that little bitty piece out.
To get that little vent thing in.
Am I blind? Yeah, I'm blind.
Yeah, you're blind. So what are you? So what are you doing in here in this van? What's it getting?
So they had a aftermarket JVC down here behind this seat,
Oh yeah.
and that's what was controlling those speakers back there, and then the audio for this TV here.
Oh,
And then
cool.
this controlled the front.
Right.
They put Kenwood Exelon speakers in here, and like they're not a bad brand, but for being a $500,000 car, we want something a little bit louder, a little bit more oomph to it,
Uh-huh.
and definitely go with the Mercedes value of things.
Right.
So we're putting in some ES7s. We're going to do 6.5 coaxes in the back. We're doing 2 pairs, so 4 speakers, and then ES7 coaxes up front here and tweets up here as well.
Ooh.
And then we're doing a DSP because we're taking away the radio, the fact that JVC radio they had in here.
Yeah.
And you can probably see the little carpeted box. It's on my
Yeah.
box right
Out.
now.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I'm getting this factory radio out, figuring out if it's amplified or analog. More than likely, Mercedes amplified. So can't fuss whether it's most 25, most 50, or most 150.
This is
I
the
said that
enclosure
wrong.
they had sitting in there.
Yeah, I said the most 25 right, but the other most I said wrong. Whatever.
Mm.
But this is what was sitting in here. None of these amps were here, nor the DSP. It was just the radio and a little bitty amplifier here for the rear speakers.
And this is what you guys are basically building in here, or the layout you're working on. You're
Yeah.
figuring out. Yeah.
So this is 1600.1 at 2 ohms, and we're going to be putting, I think, 2 EWX 8-inch woofers back there.
Ooh.
These are going to power the rears and the fronts. And then this is
Nice.
the DSP that is going to work off the factor radio signal input. And then we're also going to have RCAs running down from the TV into here, and we're going to run a bass knob up front. So they have, actually, no, we're not to run the bass knob up front. Bass knob is going to go right here on the other side, sticking out. So they have a volume knob for the TV volume, which they can turn all the way down. Then they can turn the radio off and turn the TV volume up, and they have speakers all the way around.
Full complete control.
So
So are we considering possible heat issues in this thing, or do you think everything's going to be?
with how everything is efficient, and this is big open area right here,
Yeah.
and it's right underneath that seat where AC is.
Yeah, the AC's right there too. So yeah.
It's going to be open. It's going to be ventilated. It's going to be perfectly.
This is all Class D equipment too, so that
it's
keeps
very
the
efficient. At least
yeah
I know the AD amplifier is about 85 and 90% efficient.
yeah.
Towards 90% because they're AD. They make their stuff very well.
Oh yeah yeah
Same thing with the Sound Digital.
yeah.
This thing is actually running about 92% efficient, which is nuts.
And that's a 1600 watt amp. You said
1600 watts.
600 watts. Does it make more than that, or at that, or
It's
you know?
making at that and then some, closer to like 17.
Put that on my hand, would you please? Guys, I'm palming this little 1600 watt amp. Isn't that crazy?
It's
Sound Digital is so cool.
it's pretty cool. And actually, just the recent video we did, that's coming out, as we showed that, if you realize these amps don't have fuses on the side, so how do I know that I can trust that number there? 500 by 4.
Mhm.
Is it truly 500, or is this even truly a 1600 by 1, which I grabbed the wrong amp? That's 1000 by 1. That's okay, at least for testing, because it's the same size as a 16.
Yeah.
But if you want to check out that video, we will have that up shortly, so you can try and find true wattage.
Sure, I'll even include a link to it in the video that you guys are going to see this on.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
What are you doing?
Just a Frenchie doing Frenchy things.
Frenchie doing Frenchy things?
Frenchy things.
And this is Carmil at Carmil Car Audio. This is Jose, Carmil Car Audio. So what kind of subs are you putting in there?
EWX 8-inch woofers.
Woofers?
Steve, you're doing the blackouts.
Oh, you're doing it?
Oh, yeah, you're doing the big boys.
Okay, so
Them ain't no wimpy little subs.
a little bit different.
What kind of box we're going in there?
Oh, 100% ported, always ported.
Ported enclosure?
Absolutely.
Where's that sucker at? You building it?
Yeah,
or
we
is
have to
it?
build it. It's going to be a custom box. Charles is.
Oh, it ain't done yet.
No, we just started today. We had to get it clear and go away with this guy, and we got to make sure, like, hey, are you cool with the price on everything? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's definitely not cheap.
No, but still.
You're
And I can tell you guys right now, if Audio Dynamics has 500.4 printed on there, it's going to do every bit of 500.4, and it's going to do it clean. The stuff, it's always going to be clean, and it's always going to be accurate. They are very anal about that.
The amount of total harmonic distortion coming out of these amps is absolutely phenomenal. And then you look at the total harmonic distortion out of the sound digital and the dampening factor. Dampening factor is where I got blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Damping factor on these amps here, even though they're really clean quality amplifiers, you're looking about 150 to 200 damping factor max. When we went to Knowledge Fest, they said 2,000.
2,000,
I
yeah.
looked at the guy, I'm like, dude, that's got to be a typo.
No,
it's 2,000. I'm like, that's
yeah.
if you don't know what damping factor, go look it up. It's a wonderful little piece of control.
Some of the old 90s Alpine amplifiers, the Alpine 4 channels had a 2,000 damping factor.
Wow,
It was like so far above everybody else. It's unridiculous. It's ridiculous. Way ahead of time. There's just a handful of the Alpines from the 90s had that crazy high dampening factor and a crazy low, what's it called? Yes. And it's like, it wasn't really advertised as that. Nobody really talked about it. But if you put it on a scope and started testing for all these things, it was like, what is going on here? This particular amp and this particular amp are so far, their specs are so far above everybody else. And they weren't even, saying, hey, our amps are awesome, your amps suck. But they really were. It's like they all weren't communicating with each other. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but also the same.
It was crazy.
I don't think anybody, as far as me, I will never disparage another company by any means.
Oh, no.
Because we all have a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
But is it better? 100%. Do we have?
Now, it comes to today's products, it's a lot more of a even-ish playing field. For the high-end stuff is all kind of comparable, in their specs. And the low-end stuff's all comparable in specs. But in the 90s, they weren't really like that. People were doing things so much differently.
We were still figuring stuff out.
Yeah, and so some guys were knocking it out of the park and didn't even realize how much better they were than their competitors. And other guys were, getting by and thought they were doing all that and everything. Some of the really, really high-end brands were sucking in comparison to some of the lower-end brands. And nobody had a clue. They didn't even know.
And, it's sad to say, but most people don't even look or even know what total harmonic distortion is.
Nope.
Or damping factor. And that's why, why can I buy an amplifier that advertises 2,000 watts for $150, and then I've got a 1,000 watt Memphis and it sells for $600?
Yeah, exactly.
But then you do the mathematics.
Or another 700-watt amp that's $2,000.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it so much? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. A whole lot of reasons why. Power isn't everything. It is very important, but it isn't everything. Well, I'm going to get out of here and let you continue on your merry way with this crazy van, Joe. Consider your life choices some more.
Oh, there we go.
This thing's cool. You have extracted it.
But, man, I will say this. Whatever you decide to do, whether it's mobile electronics, working on motors, working at the grocery store, do what you love.
Yep.
Do it with passion. If you don't do it with passion, I don't care what it is. You may be making $1 million a week.
You'll never be happy, though.
Never be happy.
Yep.
I'd rather make, $30 a week and be happy and enjoy what I do every day.
Yep. 100%, brother.
Guys, have a wonderful day. Stay blessed.
Thank you. That is one cool van. How's it feel to be on this side?
See, you got the flash going on over here.
Oh, yeah, I got flash. I want to make sure I got good color, man.
That's right.
If you guys watch Carmil Car Audio's YouTube channel, this is the guy that does all the video work, all the editing.
Right.
He's the cameraman, the sound man, the editor, the producer, the script writer,
Janitor.
the janitor.
Whatever I need to be.
Yeah. And this is a guy that pays those bills. Yeah. Good times all around. Now, guys, my buddy Carmil went into his personal stash, and he's helping me out. What you doing?
Oregon.
So, he's even wired up speaker wires for me. I figure I gotta have the Carmil touch. You've almost been in the car audio as long as I have.
Me?
Yeah.
Since 1989.
Okay, that's about the same actually. But you did it professionally since what?
1992.
92? Yeah, I never went professional. I've always just broke stuff.
Hobby.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Hardcore hobbyist. Actually, I did build some truck boxes in the early 2000s for people. I built some slimline truck boxes. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Oh, you can make boxes? Hey, I got this thing I want you to do." And once you get that reputation, yeah, you make lots of friends real fast. But I cheated. I just made sealed boxes. One of the pluses to a sealed box is you pretty much can't screw it up.
A lot easier to build. A lot easier.
If you've got a really bad spot to put a box, a sealed is going to work every time. At least, it's going to sound good. That may not be the loudest thing,